Hey guys, my name is Michael Levine, and I've become a bit of a vinyl collector in the last little while. I'll just show you what I've got here. I've got, the standard IKEA. I don't know how many records are in here, but I've got a decent amount. Sorry for the glare. I'm just doing this on my cell phone. I've put this cabinet in my dining room because I don't really have anywhere else to use it. And then I'm going to show you what my system is. I inherited my father's old Hitachi HT350. It's a direct drive turntable. I've got an Ortofon Red on it, and then I've got a Shitmani preamp. And then I've got these El Cheapo Edifier powered speakers, and they're fantastic. So basically, that's my stuff. I inherited a bunch of records from my father, a lot of jazz. In this collection down here, I've got a ton of Miles Davis first pressings. I've got a ton of Sonny Rollins first pressings. I've got a lot of things. When you look on the jazz list of essential albums to own, I have first pressings of them. It's a pretty good collection. I've got a first pressing of Kind of Blue, which is pretty sweet. And I had a lot of my own records too that I'd sort of let slip, as all of us did in the 90s. And I've been rebuying a lot of things. I probably came into my new interest in records with about 40 of my own records that sort of survived, and it was like Led Zeppelin 4 and the Eagles' greatest hits and that kind of stuff. I think I'd probably sold off a lot of stuff too. I definitely sold off a lot of stuff. But anyways, I've been collecting. But anyways, I've been collecting again, and it's become kind of an obsession. And I want to show you a garage sale haul that I just had. Sorry, I'm going to try to prop this thing up. A garage sale haul that I just had. I was driving my kid back from a soccer practice, and we drove past some church garage sale, and I said to my son, I'm like, do you see any records? He's like, no. And then we go literally, but he turns his head, and right across the street from that, some dude is sitting out on his front lawn with tons of records. He probably had 8 crates, and then he was selling a bunch of stereo equipment like turntables and amplifiers, which I'm not really interested in, and CD players. And I was debating the CD player because I got a ton of CDs, and I don't have a CD player in the house. And I got a ton of CDs, like I got 1,000 CDs. I have a storage locker that has probably another 1,000 CDs in it anyways. So this guy had some decent records. I'm going to show you what I got. Okay, so first of all, I got Cheap Trick, their live album Budokan. I've never owned this before, so I've run everything through my spin clean, and then I bagged everything. I've given everything a listen. I got to be honest, I'm probably going to get rid of this because I didn't really love it. Other than a couple of songs, I don't see myself realistically playing it. So rather than just keep it in my collection, I'm going to probably recycle it down at my used store and get something that I really, really want. So I got Cheap Trick live at Budokan. I got Jim Croce. I've never known how to pronounce Homeboy's name. Is it Jim Croce or Jim Croce? Anyways, he's dead. He had some great stuff. I don't have Bad Leroy Brown. I think that was his song. But on this album, this is the Don't Mess Around with Jim. I love that it's a little beat up, that it's got a couple coffee rings on this. This is a fantastic record. I love this. It's got You Don't Mess Around with Jim on it. Time in a Bottle, Operator. It's a fantastic album, beginning to end. There's not a bad song. This is definitely a keeper. I already owned Glass Houses, but my copy, as I was cleaning out my original stuff, I thought my copy was warped. But then when I saw this got a lot of Billy Joel, so I grabbed Glass Houses thinking I needed a better copy, and actually my copy is totally mint, so I've got this as a spare. So I'll probably take this to the record store and sell it, unfortunately. Billy Joel, what is this one? An Innocent Man, snatch that up. Journey, Escape. This thing is mint. By the way, almost all of these records, except for that Jim Croce, are mint. So this one is in fantastic shape. First pressing as well. Chilliwack, if you're not Canadian, you don't know who Chilliwack is. This was another one. I already owned a copy of this, and mine was definitely warped. I don't know the way I must have stored these 30 years ago, but a lot of them are bent in the exact same spot, which is really upsetting. So anyways, this was to replace a copy of Chilliwack I already had, which this is a great album, by the way. Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. Fantastic condition, perfect condition. Love this album. This is like a greatest hits album of Billy Idol. It's everything you'd ever want from Billy Idol on this album. Bruce Cockburn, That's the Way It Is. What's it called? Yeah, The Way It Is. Bruce Cockburn. What am I saying? Bruce Hornsby. Hornsby, yeah. You know what? I'll probably be getting rid of this one. Other than that song, I'm going to give it another listen. My wife was annoyed when I had it on. She really only liked the one song. My kids play piano, so I'm going to give this one another listen. Crowded House, we'll probably keep this one. Absolute mint condition. I can't remember what this album was called, but fabulous condition. Another Billy Joel. This is The Stranger. Again, it's got a couple of great tracks on it. Can't go wrong with some Billy Joel. Pat Benatar, her classic album, Crimes of Passion. Again, this is like Pat Benatar's greatest hits, basically. And Minty. I haven't played this yet. You see this at every used record store, and they have a million copies of it. It's it's My Sharona. I don't know if there's anything else worth playing on it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a spin. Another Billy Joel, 52nd Street, very great condition. What was this? Cutting Crew. This was the single. I can't remember what the single was off this, but it was big. It was big that year. What the heck is it? I can't remember what the heck this is. It had that. Oh yeah, that's it. I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. I'll give it a listen. It's supposedly a really, really good album. I'll give it a listen. I saw all this 80s stuff and this Billy Joel, so I thought I'd snatch it up. I'll give it a listen. Maybe I'll keep it. We'll see. Bryan Adams, Reckless. What can I say? I'm not a fan of Adams, but you know what? It's got Heaven on it. Everybody likes Heaven. As a Vancouver guy, I've met Adams a couple of times. I'm a hairdresser. I used to do his manager's business partner's hair, and I used to have my first salon was in his manager's office's building. I like Adams as a Vancouver guy, and this is a great album. Which one is this? This is Reckless. He had quite a few Emmylou Harris albums, and I'm a big Neil Young fan, and I know she sings backup on Harvest and then on Harvest Moon. I love her voice, and I didn't know really what to get. I didn't want to sit there Googling while I was on this guy's front lawn, so I snatched this one up because she looks really beautiful on the cover. Probably not in this angle, but anyways, I've listened to it. It's beautiful. She's got a stunning voice. And I think I'm going to maybe look into a few more of her releases as I become an adult. Like I've got Iron Maiden and AC/DC and Aerosmith and all sorts of heavy stuff in here too. But as I become more and more adult, I'm getting into more adult contemporary things like Willie Nelson singing Chris Christopherson. And this is actually a great album. Really good condition. It's got, just fabulous stuff. Me and Bobby McGee. You can't go wrong with that. And I love Willie. I've got a bunch of Willie Nelson in here as well. This has been a wonderful find. I'm really, really happy with it. Don Henley's End of Innocent. Building the Perfect Beast, which I think has the song End of the Innocent on it. Boys of Summer. Not Enough Love in the World. All She Wants to Do Is Dance. Sunset Grill. I don't know. You know everything on this album. It doesn't have whatever song I first said. It doesn't have that one, though. Greg Kihn Band. I don't know. I haven't given this a spin yet. I haven't watched these ones that don't have covers yet. But Greg Kihn did, what's the single? The breakup song, They Don't Ride Like That Anymore. I love that song. I love that video. I love that song. My kids love that song. So when I saw this, I was like, all right, I'll snatch that up. We'll see. Hopefully there's more stuff on there that's worth listening to. This is kind of a weird one. I feel really mixed because I love the song One Night in Bangkok, and I am a kind of wannabe DJ sometimes too. And I like to play this remix of that song in my set. Well, way back in the day when I was DJing, I would play it in my set, and it was an awesome song. I like the original One Night in Bangkok, so I just thought that this was going to be. I thought they were an '80s one-hit wonder kind of band named Chess, and they would just be a bunch of '80s fluff, and maybe I'd like a few things. But it's a musical. I haven't listened to this yet, but Chess was a musical that played really, really big in England. And it didn't do anything in the U.S., I guess. It bombed. So I will probably take this to the record store and sell this. But it's in great condition. It's a gatefold. It's a cool kind of album. But from what I've read with the reviews, it's pretty mixed. And I don't know if I'll take out, like, my cabinet, my drawer space, or what, I don't know what the heck it is. My shelf space is pretty full, and I don't see my wife letting me get another one of these and putting it somewhere in here, up in the dining room. So I'm this is my space. So from here on in, I got to be pretty selective. And for One Night in Bangkok, I don't know if I'm going to keep a gatefold album. I snatched up St. Elmo's Fire. Again, look at the condition of these things. The records are all in mint shape. I never liked this movie. I don't even know if I've ever even seen this movie. I'll tell you what I am looking for. My grail album right now, and I look for it every record store I go to, is the Pretty in Pink soundtrack. That's what I've been looking for forever. I know I can get it on Discogs. I know I can get a new release, but I want the original Pretty in Pink soundtrack from the 80s, whatever it was, 85 or something. Anyways, they had this St. Elmo's Fire, so I grabbed it. I don't know if there's anything good on this other than, Shakedown. I don't like that song. I don't even like that Man in Motion song, to be honest, so I'll probably get rid of this too. But they were in such great condition. And then this is like I got sucked in on this one, Midnight Cowboy. So I love the song Everybody's Talking. It's one of the great songs. And I just thought, well, I love that. I love the movie Midnight Cowboy. I haven't seen it in probably 15 years, but it's a great film. And I love that song, so maybe there's a bunch of other wonderful music on it. And then, this is like the biggest lie in music. It's just a bunch of soundtrack songs from other movies. So, yeah, okay, I like Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. What is that? Bacharach, whatever his first name is. I'm drawing a blank. I already have the album for Alice's Restaurant, but I thought, oh, maybe this is all on here. And then I figured out that this is actually not from the movie. So I may get rid of this one as well. But again, it's in gorgeous shape. So I ended up getting 20 records for $35. They were 3 for $5. Is the way this guy was doing it. And in hindsight now, because I know realistically, I just snatched up a bunch of stuff before anybody got them, but in hindsight, I'm kind of wishing that I had got more. I wish I'd grabbed all of his Emmylou Harris, and there's a few other things that I wish I'd grabbed. Now, he said to me, oh, you're not a flipper, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm not a flipper. I actually don't, I've taken a few records to the record store so I could get other things that I want, but now in hindsight of going through these, I'll probably get rid of 6. But maybe with those 6, I can get one, and maybe then other people will be able to purchase those 6 records if they want them. So I feel a little bit bad that I'm going to flip a couple of them, but that wasn't my intention. But man, nowadays when you go around to garage sales, the records that they have are garbage. And some of these things, like say Get the Knack, you'll see that in the dollar bin at a record store. But I've gone to my local thrift shop, and they're selling records for $5 each, which is insane, and they're in garbage condition. There's this one thrift shop, they had a copy of Van Halen, Women and Children First, and they wanted $20 for it, and it was in crap condition. I picked up a very good copy of it for $12 the other day. Right now, the finding amazing records, I think this was a pretty good haul, and I think if you're a pretty, a big collector, you would have done well at this guy's garage sale, and he was doing them at such a reasonable price that's why I made this video, because you might be going, well, guess what? Those are all dollar bin records, and you're also why are you excited about it? You're getting rid of a bunch of them. But I think the simple fact is you never know what you're going to come up on, And I definitely got some keepers in there. And for the $35, I can't walk out of a used record store for under $50, usually just to get 3 records that I want, because, you know, as you guys know, if you're watching this, you're into records. So you know how expensive they are nowadays. It's not cheap. And, you know, and if you're like me and you're a dude and you're married, you're probably waiting till your wife's not around before you bring in your new records so that she doesn't see, and then quickly wash them and get them into the shelf, get them alphabetized and put them in the shelf before your wife comes home and sees more records. But anyways, that's me. It's probably you too. Anyways, so that garage sale thing, that can still be a really, really good thing. This is 2018. And I hit a garage sale and did really, really well. So keep it up and go out there and look through your garage sales. You never know what you're going to find. Maybe, you know, tell your kid to be eagle-eyed and let you know when he sees a few record crates. Have an awesome day. I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel, whether I'm going to create anything new with it. I have a different channel for some other stuff that I do. But I feel like I'm kind of really into records, and maybe I want to start doing a record channel. So anyways, if you like what I've said here, cool, subscribe, and maybe I'll create some content that'll be worthwhile you seeing again. Have a great day. Thanks so much.